A good slide location over here by the water. We're going to go ahead and set a foothold trap. We're going to use number 4 Bridger long spring. If you take a look down here, I've gone ahead and pre-measured the hole. I've got everything dug out. If you take a look down over here to my right, you'll see the slide that we're talking about. And this is pretty recently used. So very simple, just like what we've shown in the past videos as far as how to set a foothold. I'm going to use the earth anchor. I'm going to go ahead and hammer that in. I'm going to put that in the center of my hole. Feels like I'm hitting some root down here too, so that's good. Go ahead and cover that up a little bit and give it a good little tug there. Alright, that's good and secure. Put that back here. Now, since we're on an angle over here, we want to make sure that we actually have the ground as level as possible for the trap, but we don't want it to be so artificial of a flat surface that it doesn't look like it's part of the natural slide for the Beaver. So I'm going to take a look right here and see how we're looking. We've got a good amount of room to play with here. So I'm going to go ahead and set my D-ring on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and get it attached to our trap here. Going the wrong way here. There we go. Now you want to make sure that these are good and tight. Now you can use the screw-ins, or you can go ahead and use the regular D-ring crampon if you want. But you know, it's just personal choice. I like these because I think they're a little bit more secure. So I'm going to get that down just a bit. I've already got the trap pre-done. Whoops. I've already got the trap ready to go. It's all set. And you know, a lot of this is just preparation on how you want to do things. And I'm not liking the way this is sitting here. There we go. Alright, so looking at this, I want to go ahead and build up this side a little bit over here, a little bit more. And then get a little bit more dirt back down under here. Remember, we want to keep these as flat as possible and as level as possible, but sometimes the terrain isn't going to allow that, but you want to make sure that you don't have a lot of wiggle room or anything under these traps, they're not going to operate correctly. Now for a safety measure, I'm going to go ahead and take the non-supported side, lift that up, just as a safety measure in case this thing does fire off. It's not going to be the trapper trapped in his own trap. You know, we're out here to catch beaver, not out here to catch myself. But it will happen. You know, it does happen from time to time where trappers do fall victim to their own traps. Build this front part up a little bit better. Alrighty. So now I want to go ahead and give it a good little wiggle here. I'm pretty happy with this so far for the most part. Now, one of the things that you can use as a pan cover is coffee filters, or you can go ahead and use wax paper. Wax paper, it's usually better to go ahead and kind of crinkle it up a little bit like this. So that way when the critters come in and they step on it, they don't have that crunchiness. Now the problem with coffee filters is these are fibrous, so they will hold in a scent. Now over here, this is kind of a good thing that we do want to have it hold in a scent, because we've got plenty of bark, we've got plenty of trees, the fresh soil. The smell will absorb in here. So that's what we're really kind of banking on for the most part. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my weak side down. And that's what's really nice about these. Coffee filters are relatively inexpensive. If you drink coffee like I do, then you probably have a good amount of them. Now, you want to take your sifter and still treat this the same way as you would any other trap that you've got, as far as the footholds. Yes, the trap's bigger than normal, but or bigger than what we've shown in the past videos, but that's fine. You know, just look at what the target animal is. And of course, you're going to need bigger traps. Now, with the sifting that I'm doing here, you want to get this fine dirt without any debris or anything on your trap itself. So, just smooth this out just a bit. Now the center of my pan, I know for a fact, is right here. So I don't have any surprises or anything that's going to come my way here in the next couple of minutes. When you start to bury your traps, and you start to lose sight of actually where the center of your pan is, that's what gets a lot of people in trouble. You know, a lot of people, now this loose debris, I'm going to go ahead and just put over here in the front. This isn't going to have any issues with the performance of the trap. But I do want to get this front covered just a little bit better. Now some of this dirt and debris I'm just going to put back, make it look as natural as possible before I came over and messed up with this area. You want to have as close to a natural setting as you had before you came in. Now, I want to go ahead and get some of this top off. I don't want it so thick over the top of this pan that when the critters come in, they step on it and there's so much dirt that it doesn't matter, and it's just totally impacted into the ground. So for now I'm done with my sifter, and I know that the center of my pan is right here where this rock is. So I'm going to keep that rock there right now for a small visual. Okay, that's just for me, nobody else. So some of these leaves over here, just go ahead and throw right back over here. The type of set that we're doing, it's your regular foothold set, except what I'm really going for is I'm going for travelers, as they're traveling back and forth. Right here we have a great food source. Excuse me, we have a great food source right here, so they're coming back and forth. We have a den that's down below us, so they're heading down towards the den, and they've got to come up through this way each and every time. So I know for a fact we have a good opportunity of getting at least one traveler through here. If you take a look at this log, these beavers have totally decimated this entire tree. They fed on the other side of the log back here, and there's fresh marks that we're noticing all around the side of this stump over here. So that's good. You know, that makes us happy to see this. Now, as far as funneling them in here, we have a natural funnel that's right down over here. We have a log that's right in front of me. And then I was going to take some of this debris that's behind me and go ahead and set it right about here, so that way they can't go off to the left or the right. They're focused directly here. It's called funneling. And funneling is one of the most important things that you want to keep in mind as far as how do I get a critter into my trap?
I'm going to go ahead and start working on the funneling, or the channeling of the animal into my trap. So I'm going to get some of these sticks and the debris that's behind me. Go ahead and set it up. Kind of like a little fence, if you will, for keeping them out of one area and directing them into another. I don't want that one. Alright, there we go. So now they've got to come right through here. My trap's right here. My leaf right there is the center of my pan. So there we go. Pretty simple stuff here. Now, what I'm going to do next is what a lot of trappers do forget. Go break out my trapper's journal. And out of all the gear that I brought up here with me, I'm really grateful I remembered a pen. Seems like I usually forget to bring a pen with me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put a beaver, because I'm going for beaver as my target animal. I'm using a Bridger number 4 long spring, and I'm going to go ahead and mark the waypoint here also. Alright, so my waypoint is annotated, and I'm going to go ahead and annotate the hours as well as today's date. Now, since this is just a target of opportunity right here as far as traveling, I'm not using any lures and no baits, because right behind me over here I already have a natural attractant. I have a natural food source for them. So this is basically what it looks like as far as your trapper's journal. Go ahead and put in your target animal. Go ahead and put in what kind of spring or trap that you're using. Go ahead, actually I should put in here that I'm making it a foothold. Alright, so now I've changed this around. I'm going for beaver using a Bridger number 4 long spring. It's a foothold by a slide. This is all you have to do. Go ahead and mark your waypoint, so in case you forget where your trap is, you know what time of day you put it in. Here in the state of Utah, I've got to check this every 48 hours. Now, due to ethics, it's a foothold, so should I check it every 2 days? Nah, that's bullshit. I'm going to check it every 24 hours. Just because something's legal doesn't make it right. I still am a firm believer if it's a live hold, you need to go ahead and check them every 24. The every 48 hours is what gives us a bad name. If you can, possibly, please check your traps every 12 hours just to be safe. If you have any other questions or want to get in contact with either me or Steve, please contact us on our website at www.utahoutdooreducation.com, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours. And look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you. Alright, here's a good detail of the trapper journal. So today this is the first trap that we've put in. I went ahead and target animal is beaver. I'm using a Bridger number 4 long spring. Little bit of a description is it's a foothold by the slide area that we're very familiar with. And just for general purpose, I went ahead and marked the waypoint as well as what time I put it in. So I put it in at 10:19 on October 25th. No lures, no bait. Reason for it, right here with this tree. It's just natural bait and lure for these little guys. Down over here, where this leaf is, that's the center of my pan. And looking down, you can actually see where everything's going into it in the water as far as the slide. Well, here's a funny one to look at from trapping perspective. He hit the back of the trap here. His next step, when we're at over here, center of my pan is right here. That's all part of trapping. As far as his stride was concerned, he got very lucky.